to the season of Advent. And you'll think, Chris, it's not Advent yet. It's not that season that we prepare for Christmas until next week. But here's a little sneak peek for you. Our instrumentalists have been working hard on a piece that will give us this little taste of the season to come. So let's settle in. Let's gather with each other, warm the space with this music. Good morning again. Welcome to Southminster Steinhauer United Church. Welcome to SSUC, where we're spiritual seekers united in community. Welcome to those who join us for the first time this morning, and welcome to those of you who are here for the first time in a while or who hold together our space week by week, and welcome to those of you online as well. All of us working and being together in community. We take for granted sometimes that we build community in a way that encourages spiritual exploration, that encourages the depth of our hearts in working toward lives that we wish to create in a world that we wish to be part of creating. So welcome to this community of diversity and acceptance, where all ages, all sizes, all colors and cultures, all sexualities and genders, where all religions and traditions, or many or none, are welcome, where all abilities, where all types and all people are welcome. So welcome to this time where we're invited to open ourselves to compassion, to kindness, to generosity, to deep wisdom, and know that we're each important, valued, striving to live more deeply and make a difference in the world. So welcome to each and every one of you. As we light our candle this morning, not smart. As we light our candle, we'll let it remind us all of the hopefulness of whole and healthy relationships, the values we live, and the community we build. We love this candle because it connects us to so many people, to so many things, to so many values we hold in our life. It connects us to those at home, and those at home to those here. It connects us to people in the world who don't have the luxury of being here in this place due to illness or distance or geography. It connects us to people who, either close at hand or halfway across the world, are dealing with very different circumstances in their lives. It connects with those who are suffering, with those who are in places of war and violence and turmoil. And it places us in a way to connect with life and with all. And that, in my definition, is spirituality. So welcome to you all. Let's sing our way into community this morning.
This is the time, this is the place to refresh and renew in a mindful space. Others around who also have found our contentions in life as the common ground. Much wisdom to share for the living in our lives, a place for receiving and offering care, a time set aside to share. This is the time, this is the place to refresh and renew in a mindful space. Others around who also have found our connections in life as the common ground. Much wisdom to share for the living of our lives, a place for receiving and offering care, a time set aside to share.
Good morning. Test, test. Yeah. I'm Terry McDougall. This is my first time. I'm a newbie. I'm doing the land acknowledgement this morning, and it's my pleasure to do so. In the late summer of 1876, Treaty 6 was signed in Saskatchewan, actually in Fort Carleton and then again in Fort Pitt, by representatives of the Queen and bands of the Cree, Chippewa, and Stoney nations. This treaty eventually included 50 First Nations. We at SSUC in Edmonton and SSUC Saskatoon meet today on this territory, which tragically has known unspeakable injustice and hardship for the First Nations. The First Nations treaty signatories. To say that this has not been an equitable treaty would be a gross understatement, as we today acknowledge this treaty in the land that we have the fortune to occupy, which is formerly Indian Reservation number 136, the Papas Chase Reserve. Let us be cognizant of its long and storied history, a history that has impacted and continues to impact the Cree, Saulteaux, Blackfoot, Métis, Dene, and Nakota Sioux, and all of the many First Nations, Métis and Inuit, whose footsteps have marked these lands since time immemorial. Let us work, learn, and play on these lands in kinship and solidarity with those who came first, remembering that we are all treaty people.
Humbly we walk here, humbly we sing here, humbly we bless this ground. Humbly we walk here, humbly we sing here, humbly we bless this ground. Humbly we walk and with gratitude we sing here, remembering we bless this ground. Humbly we walk and with gratitude we sing here, remembering we ancient ones who walk this ground. Humbly we walk and with gratitude we sing here, remembering the ancient ones who walk this ground. Humbly we walk and with gratitude we sing here, remembering the ancient ones who walk this ground. Humbly we walk and with gratitude we sing, remembering the ancient ones who walk this ground. Humbly we walk and with gratitude we sing, remembering the ancient ones who walk this ground.
Good morning. Come to the carpet with or without cereal. You're welcome. Or come to the front row. Come have a seat. Welcome. Hi there. Hello. Hi. Welcome. Lots of room. I want to share a story with you today that's about being scared. It's called The Monster at the End of This Book. Do you have this book? Then you are lucky, because this is a very good book. Grover is the main character. Do you know Grover? Okay, all right. Oh, yeah. Grover is pretty funny. I want to read you this story. It's a Sesame Street book, but it's written by John Stone and illustrated by Michael Smolin. Here we go. So, it starts like this. What did that say? I can't do that the whole time. Right, remember the title of the book, The Monster at the End of This Book. What did that say? On the first page, what did that say? Did that say there will be a monster at the end of this book? It did? Oh, I'm so scared of monsters. Shh. Shh. Listen, I have an idea. If you do not turn any pages, we will never get to the end of this book. And that is good because there's a monster at the end of this book. So please do not turn the page. We will. Do you think we should? Oh, you're brave. You turned the page. Maybe you do not understand. You see, turning pages will bring us to the end of this book. And there is a monster at the end of this book. But this will stop you. This will stop you from turning pages. See, I am tying the pages together. So you cannot. What should we do? Ugh. You turned another page. You do not know what you are doing to me. Stop turning pages. I'm doing it. There, I, Grover, am nailing this page to the next one so that you will not be able to turn it and we will not get any closer to the monster at the end of this book. Let's see if you can try. Can you try? Try to turn it. Use all your strength. Turn it. Turn it. Just one. Just one. Just one. Ah, you did it. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Do you know that every time you turn another page, you not only get us closer to the monster at the end of this book, but you make a terrible mess? Okay, this will stop you. A heavy, thick, solid brick wall. I would just like to you to try to turn this page. It's just paper. Do you know that you are very strong? The next page is the end of this book. And there's a monster at the end of this book. Oh, I am so scared. Please do not turn the page. Please, please, please. Oh, well, look at that. This is the end of the book, and the only one here is me, a lovable, furry old Grover. I'm the monster at the end of this book. Oh, and you were scared. The end. I told you there was nothing to be afraid of. Grover. On the last page, he says, "Oh, I am so embarrassed." Oh my gosh. What a silly book. It might be a silly book, but it gives us a chance to say that even though this was very fun, we weren't really scared. There are scary things. There's scary things in our lives when we have to try new things, or when we have to meet new people, or we have to do something we're not sure we're able to do. These are all scary things. Sometimes even like the dark, or going to sleep, or big spiders, or what else?
Did you know that actually
Monsters aren't real?
They're not real.
What about Grover? Oh yeah, Grover's a puppet, right. Okay, Daisy and Ariane, that's your topic for Kids Spirit. So, even though we have times that we're scared, yeah, we can be scared. It's okay to be scared.
Can I hug you?
Yes, you can. When we're scared, we can look after each other and care for each other, give each other hugs. be with each other, use our kind words, and have the courage to face whatever is scary. That's why we need each other. So Grover thanks you, I'm sure, for being the community that helps him. Thank you for sharing that fun story. You're welcome to Kid Spirit. You're welcome to the toy room. You're welcome to be with your people, wherever you'd like to be. Have a good morning. Thank you. Thanks. So, we'll share some invitations as a community that help us make our way through our days and do the things that we do together. I want to just share a few, and then there's some folks that have some other things to share with us today. First and foremost, there's someone in our community celebrating a very special birthday this week. Gilda, just a few days ago, turned an auspicious 95 years old. Gilda. So in honor of that, and because we're a community that celebrates together, please stay for cake afterward. We have a cake in honor of Gilda's 95th. If you'd like a piece of cake, please stay after and wish her many blessings yourselves. You're welcome. Our resource group is a conversation group that meets on Thursdays at 6 o'clock. And this week, the topic is Christmas. If you'd like to come and get a little head start on maybe some of the meanings that Christmas has, had, lost, gained, all of that, please consider coming and joining us this Thursday at 6 p.m. Mary, come. You had something to share with us this morning. Yes.
Okay. I have someone special to introduce to you today. For all the work that you do, sometimes we don't realize how far that work goes. So I have here one of the family members that this congregation helped for so many years in so many ways, and their achievements have been something to be proud of. And I will introduce to you Tawela. She went to school here at Lansdowne before they moved back to Zambia, and she's in the States, but I would just like you to hear her story and the work that you guys have done. Don't cry.
Okay, I'm gonna cry. This is my first church. My family moved here in 1980. My parents were students at the U of A, and my mom found this church. I'm not sure how, but Mrs. Allen could probably tell you. I remember her dearly. She's my grandmother. We lived here for 11 years. My parents got their postgraduate degrees, my father PhD, my mom nursing. Through the support, my mom got her BSA in nursing from the women's group from this church. After we moved back to Zambia, well, before that, let me just say, Christmases, winter clothes, you name it, crab apples. I remember it all, and they came fondly from this church and this community. I'm still a Christian today. I love being a Christian. I love spreading the love of Jesus, and it was a love that was poured into me by this community. I went to Camp Ohilo. It's a pleasure to be here. I won't be able to thank you enough in the time that I have, but I want to encourage you that your work goes far and beyond. Both my parents, when they returned to Zambia, have outstanding, successful careers. My dad was chief of staff to the president for a number of years. My mom runs a Christian organization that serves mission hospitals all around the country and provides 33% of rural health care to Zambians all around the world, all around the country. And then there's me and my sister. I came back, I got my degree and my master's. I live and work in California. I am a video producer, and I do a lot of videos, some to do with Jesus and some to do with marketing. But I just want to thank you and encourage you that your work, even just taking my mom's example, it reaches far beyond anything you guys could ever imagine. It's touched so many lives. It has saved lives. HIV and AIDS, malaria, all the work she gets to do, it began here. The seeds were planted here. So thank you. Continue your work. You are amazing. Like I said, you have brought me into the love of Christ, and I just want you to encourage you to keep doing so. So thank you.
Hello, my name is Meredith. You remember that jukebox event we had a few weeks ago? So just final announcement about that. We tallied up all the totals and paid our expenses, and we came up with just shy of $4,000 that we made there. So, yay! So just wanted to give you that update so that you know how appreciated it was and how there were great results to support the work, such as what we just heard about. And special recognition, thank you to Tenkai for donating all those beautiful sushi boats from Japanese Village, and of course Aaron also. And so we thought it would be fitting and appropriate to give a little token of our gratitude to as a night out at Japanese Village to Aaron and his family. So that was just a fun way that we put those together. And based on your feedback, we're going to try to do this again maybe next year or another time. So stay tuned and enjoy the rest of the fundraisers and events over the holidays.
Good morning. My name is Esther Oakes, and I'm here to let you know about what happened at the board meeting on Tuesday. As you know, an implementation team was formed in early October, and they have been meeting since. And on Tuesday, they brought us the results of their work, and we'd like to announce that the board approved the 2 positions that were developed by the implementation team. You can find a link to them in the Morning Messenger. The 2 positions that were approved include a coordinator for the Affirming LGBTQ2SIA+ group, and a spiritual community program coordinator that is a combination of 2 of the 2 other positions. There were 3 positions that were suggested, and they combined 2 of them. This SSUC community program coordinator. So we're very pleased that that work will continue, and they're going to be posting those positions, and we'll soon hear about some new people to be here at SSUC doing the work of our community.
Good morning. My name is Sherry Ann Chapman. I'm an ecumenical accompanier. Having had the opportunity to be placed in occupied East Jerusalem in December 2010 to March 2011 as part of a World Council of Churches program. We are living in a time of war. And one of those wars is the one between the Israeli government and Hamas. What can we do? We can do things like petition the Canadian government to support an ongoing ceasefire, to support humanitarian aid. We can also listen to what people need. Donna Hicks is an international conflict resolution practitioner and scholar. And in her experience, she has found that dignity is often at the heart of conflict. Dignity being violated, a need for dignity to be honored. So what can we do? We can try and create space and time. We can advocate for space and time for those that are involved to meet. And I'd like to just share a brief excerpt from Jean Zaru, who is a Palestinian Christian Quaker woman, scholar, speaker, activist, who wrote a book in 2008 called Occupied with Nonviolence. She offers this: finger pointing and blame is the fuel of the cycle of conflict. How do we take away the pointing of the finger? What are the demands of reconciliation? Reconciliation, real reconciliation, involves a fundamental repair to human lives, especially to those who have suffered. It requires restoring the dignity of the victims of violence. Reconciliation contains 4 dimensions: political, economic, psychosocial, and spiritual. Reconciliation as a way of transformation challenges us to resist the temptation simply to rearrange the furniture, whether that rearrangement is in the structures of our psyche or those of our planet. In trivializing and ignoring the history of suffering, the victims are forgotten, and the causes of suffering are never uncovered and confronted. And then she shares steps to how to do this, how to create time and space, and offers this summary. Rather than continue a cycle of humiliation and violence, there's an opportunity to take steps toward a new relationship of equity and respect. Let us nurture the growth of a breakthrough community of friends that crosses boundaries, deconstructs the dominant ideology, and shapes an alternative praxis of mutuality. We can advocate for creating that kind of space, and we can contribute to a fair trade economy. And one of the ways we can do that is through SSUC. We do participate with Zaytoun, a nonprofit organization, volunteer-based, that makes it possible to buy olive oil, za'atar from Palestine, and we participate in that program here. I'll be in the foyer after our gathering if you wish to look into olive oil and za'atar spice. Thank you.
Always a multitude of hats. So first, the fun part. The sign says Christmas Cookie Walk, but we know we're not doing this really this year. We do have an artisan market that's attached to it. And I have to tell you that just from SSUC, we have an amazing selection of treats on the SSUC craft table that will be there on Saturday. Not to mention the 20+ artisans that are going to be showing their work here, plus the tables of cookie offerings that are going to be available. So if you're not here Saturday, too bad, you're going to miss something special. I am looking for a couple of helpers. I need somebody for Saturday morning to assist with putting sidewalk signs out. And if somebody could be available Wednesday morning to help me haul Christmas up. I had planned on doing it Friday, but due to this bug I've created or housed, I wasn't able to do that. So that's all about the artisan market cookie sale. Now, the serious part is property maintenance. So for the past few weeks, there's been a link in the Morning Messenger with a special report from property maintenance. How many people have read that? Not a lot. How many people read the Morning Messenger? Okay, so how come you haven't gone to the link? What are you afraid of? Okay, so that link shows you just a small example of the things that have been happening in your faith home to keep it nice for you, the same as you would keep your home nice. And it takes volunteers to help with that. So why do we on property maintenance volunteer for all of this? Why do we volunteer with congregational care, finance, property maintenance, M&P, Affirm, Labyrinth, Earth Charter? Because we care about the complete well-being of our faith home. And property maintenance is a big part of that. Without volunteers, things start to fall apart. They don't run efficiently, or they stop running altogether. And things are projects, communications, meetings, events, everything suffers. So volunteering is more than fun social events, garage sales, cookie walks, fall suppers, dessert events, or jukebox nights. It's the hard work of love. So if your faith home and family is important to you, step up and get on a committee. Every committee needs you. We can't continue without your support and participation. Yes, there will be work and meetings, but there will also be community, encouragement, good hearts, laughter and tears, and sometimes someone brings brownies. So those are all things to take into consideration. Now, we are looking for 2 people to work as a team for kitchen coordination. You all know how important that kitchen is. And without a kitchen coordinator, the kitchen doesn't work. Now, for years, Trudy was the sole kitchen coordinator. And right now, Karen is the sole kitchen coordinator. And that is a huge load. It's bigger than one person needs. So we desperately need 2 people to step up to take that on. The other thing we need is one person who's handy. We have a kitchen cupboard door that has decided to abandon ship. And we need someone to help put it back. So if any of this appeals to you, please come and see me after the service.
Thanks, Joe, for doing the first part of my announcement. So I'm Bill Hibbard. I'm on the Finance Committee. The Finance Committee here is comprised of Ann Didluck, over here with somewhere, used to be, Ann Didluck, Pam Boudelaire, Kim Goys. Everybody knows Kim. And Pam looks after the sorting, counting, and the recording of donations each week. Kim Boys is our treasurer. She writes all the checks. She does the bookkeeping, prepares monthly statements for the board, and she literally writes hundreds and hundreds of checks. I know because I get to co-sign a lot of them. And Ann Didluck records the donations so that she can prepare charitable donation receipts at year end. She also receives the stewardship pledges and tracks the PARs that come in. So thank you, Ann, for doing all of that. I chair the committee, and I try to support and stay out of the way of the ones doing the work of the committee. I pull the budget together, so near year end, which is now, I ask each committee to give me the best estimate of the money their committee will need to do the things they do for next year. I receive them. I prepare an expenditure budget for the next year that puts all these things together. Meanwhile, Ann is accumulating the pledges and the PAR indications and provides me with those totals and I include them in our budget totals on the income side. We also estimate rental and fundraising income for the upcoming year, and I put them together to get an estimate of our total income for the year. And when you look at that, you can see whether we're likely to get a surplus or a deficit. Surplus was a nice word. Lately it's been kind of a D word. 90 of the income that we get, total income that we get, and it's over $500,000, 90 to 93% of that comes out of your pockets, so through donations. Thank you very, very much for what you've done in the past. That's great. And we're just asking you to do it again next year. From 2013 to 2016, we had a succession of deficit year ends. Then from 2017 to 2020, we had a succession of surpluses that resulted in an accumulated surplus of over $160,000. So we were in pretty good shape back in 2020. And then you know what happened. Then COVID hit. We've had a successive deficits that have brought our accumulated surplus down to about $127,000 at the end of the past year, and we'll likely add to that or subtract from that or whatever at the end of this year. The Finance Committee believes that Southminster Steinauer needs to maintain an accumulated surplus of between $80 and $100,000 to provide for the cash flow that covers all the expenses that must be paid. So we pay for the maintenance and salaries and all that sort of thing. Remembering that 90% of our income comes from donors, we hope that you all will be able to find a way to donate, well, as May has suggested, an additional $5 per week over the next year. I talked last Sunday about the donation of shares through the United Church Foundation. If you are interested in that at all, you'll have to do it before December 11th so that they can get their charitable donation receipt to you for the year end. You can give it any time of the year, but this one is ending soon. So that's all I have. Thank you very much.
We go from Grover to Mark Nepo. The thing about fear. We try to avoid it, distract ourselves, even put others in the way, because it makes what is necessary seem monumental. It makes what is needed seem uncrossable. Yet when we stumble over the line, or are over the line, or in our exhaustion fall beyond our pain, what we feared was a fall to our death turns out to have been the next step. These are the words of a poet and philosopher. May we find wisdom for our heart.
We'll talk a little bit about fear today. We always can gather the theme conversation of the day by the children's story, typically. So we're talking about fear and turning pages and taking next steps. Fear can cause us to do many things, actually, not just put up brick walls and rope up our days so we don't get to the next one. But fear can either be a motivator or fear can cause us to freeze. Fear can cause us to lash out at others. Fear can cause us to clam up and shut others out. Fear can cause violence and war, or protect us from danger. Fear can stop us from trying a different approach or branching out or risking a present that we know, even if it's not a very good present, for a future that's unknown and may or may not be great. Just a quick little story about fear in my life when I play the piano. Fear has a very specific effect for me when I play music. When I'm scared, if I think about who's listening or what they might be thinking, I start to get fearful. I play too cautiously. My fingers tighten up. And to be quite honest, I play, and good teachers will tell you this, I play with no energy and no feeling. And then when you're fearful, one mistake, I'm looking at other musicians in the room, one mistake starts to eat at your confidence. And then you start, rather than thinking about the music, rather than thinking about what great this is, what the great time you're having playing the music, or what's coming up, you're thinking about that damn mistake that just happened. All of that leads to more of the same. It's a downward spiral. So I ask you, you don't have to be a musician, you can be doing anything in your life to be confronted with fear and what it does to you. So as we talk about other things this morning, I'll ask you to think, what effect does fear have on you and the things that you do? What does it keep you from realizing? What does it incur? What does it engender in your living out of your days? I'm going to share a story with you quick. It's a story of Jesus traveling. And it goes like this. Leaving that place, well, I didn't tell you what place that was, doesn't matter. Leaving some place, Jesus withdrew to the region of Tyre and Sidon. A Canaanite woman from that vicinity came to him crying out, "Teacher, have mercy on me. My daughter is suffering terribly." Jesus didn't answer a word. So his disciples came to him and urged him, "Send her away, for she keeps crying out to us." He answered, "I was sent only to the lost sheep of Israel." The woman came and knelt before him. "Teacher, help me." He replied, "It's not right to take the children's bread and toss it to the dogs." "Yes, it is," she said. "Even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from their master's table." Then Jesus said to her, "Woman, you have great faith. Your request is granted," and her daughter was healed. That's a really difficult story. That's a really, really, really difficult story because, many reasons. This woman comes to Jesus certain that he has enough power, love, grace, whatever, to make a difference for her. And he says, no. Well, he does worse. He ignores her first. He indulges his idiot disciples who say, tell her to go away. And then he compares her to a dog. So the question is, what was he afraid of? Why? Why would he not address this woman? He could have been afraid of extending himself beyond the rigid lines of the lines that had been drawn for him, that others had drawn around him and the Israelite community, that wasn't the box that he was supposed to play in. He could have been scared for not conforming to the expectations of his disciples, because we all are worried about what those around us are thinking. He could have been scared of more people wanting his time. Whatever it was, he did not address this woman in her time of need. And the positive side of this story is that eventually her conviction and her patience changes something, changes him. Is it her conviction? Is it her patience? Is it her own innate self-worth, which clearly she has and won't be talked to this way? Is it her willingness to call him out on his injustice? When he says, is it right to give the children's food to the dog? She says, you don't think so, but yes, it is. You'll do it. Anyway, however she does it, she convinces him that he is enough, not only for the house of Israel, but for her too. And somehow, in the world of this story, he does it. He's convinced. He sees the truth that was always within him, that reserving himself only for certain people is contrary to who he was and who he wanted to be. That living out of conservation and fear is not a way toward his vision for radical inclusion and transcendence and peace. That wasn't going to be the way. And his life's work is cracked open to spill beyond his own people and to include and embrace widely. And the amazing thing is that we actually have this story, because in the hundreds and thousands of years of the church, knowing what we do about the church and those spiritual ancestors, they would have hidden a story like this away. But we get a glimpse. It's like the director's cut. We get to see a little glimpse where Jesus did not have it worked all out. Where he, to be quite honest, screwed up. And where he realized, oh, that's not the way. Maybe this is the way. What a parable of how fear can hold us back from realizing what we hope for and what we dream for. So I'm just going to say really quick that money does the same thing to us. A whole lot of things do that to us, but so does money. So often a source of fear, of lines drawn between us, of what holds us back. And I wanted to address in this last Sunday of our season, kind of celebrating and honoring all the ways that we contribute to our spiritual community and take back and give back. We can't do that without actually talking about money. We've talked about time and the beauty of our volunteerism, but we have to talk about money too, don't we? We've been encouraging us all to share gratitude for the value of this place and reflect on ways we contribute and that will make our next year together exciting and possible. And we have to acknowledge that a part of that is the financial contributions to our work together, and yet it is so easy to be fearful, all of us, not just around church stuff, but fearful in our lives in general when we talk about money. It takes for us It takes money to do all the things we do. It's one resource out of many, but it's an awfully important one. But money is no different than any other resource that we talk about, is it? We're tempted to approach it in a fearful way, with a mindset of scarcity. We're scared about not enough. Natural, of course. We're figuring it out together, though. What happens when we approach it with fear? And we're noticing the same thing as in that story I shared with you. We try it one way and we see, is this going to work? And if it happens with a mindset of fear, we're going to recognize very quickly that it doesn't work. How many of you want to give any of your money to a cause because you feel like you have to? Or because you feel like if you don't, something else might happen? No one wants to give their money to that. In a mindset of fear, nothing good happens generally. Nothing new happens if we approach with fear. In a year when we're welcoming new roles and new staff that we just heard Esther talk about, when we're talking about new activity and new ministry that we're going to be part of over the next little while, of all that possibility, who wants to enter into that kind of atmosphere thinking, oh no, what if we can't do it? What happens if we don't do X, Y, or Z? Entering into a year ahead in an attitude of fear would disentangle all of the work that's already happened. The only way to do it is to do it with an attitude of abundance. And the same is true with our money. We'll do it because we're together and because it's exciting. I won't give my $10 to some cause because it's burning a hole in my pocket. No, I'll find something else to do with that. I'll give to that cause because it genuinely excites me. Or I can say, good things are going to happen with the people that are using this money. Luckily, we have a community that's very transparent and who openly shares, how we're spending our money and the needs of the building and the needs of our ministry. And all of that happens so that we can go forward together and know, oh, some good things might happen if I contribute to this goal. All of us want to contribute to something that has value and worth and that makes a difference. So, with all of us working together, there will be enough. That's the attitude we take as the next step. There will be enough. We'll succeed. We'll find ways forward. Of course, that's our attitude. Of course it is. We've encountered a lot of things in our years together. We've encountered them all together, and we've encountered them all with each other and with success. So why would the coming year be any different? We come at it with an attitude like that. And like this parable reminds us, living out of conservation and fear isn't the way forward toward radical inclusion and transcendence and peace. The only way is for our life's work to be cracked open, like that story said. To be cracked open and spill outward toward what really matters. And that's where Mark Nepo's words are so helpful to us. We want to avoid fear and distract ourselves from it because it makes what's necessary seem monumental. That's what fear does to us. Yet when we fall beyond our pain or stumble over the line, says Mark Nepo, what we feared was a fall to our death turns out to have been the next step. So the questions for us are, who will be our Canaanite woman? Who will be the one who calls us on our crap? Who will be the one who says, What's stopping you? How can we let our hearts be changed to see that we might exist in part and in whole, to share and to break those rigid barriers erected between us? What lines are we drawing and have been drawn around us that need to come down? How can we move toward focusing on ministry and meaning making and letting go of competition and fear? Can we live into the confidence that what we fear is a fall turns out to be our next step? That's always the question of fear. Never easy. They say that fear is wetting your pants, but courage is taking the next step with wet pants. May it be so for us, as messy as it may be.
Hello, my name is Jacob Kellerman, and I'm scared. May and I started attending spiritual gatherings at SSUC probably now about 6 years ago. What made us leave our previous congregation was their attitude or rejection and discrimination against the LGBTQ community. What attracted us to SSUC is then easy to understand. It's the openness and it's the total acceptance of diversity that we experience in this circle. But that's not the only thing. When we started to learn about the history of SSUC, we became aware of where this place was born and where its roots are. It's in community service. And that's why we talk about stewardship. Now, when we talk about stewardship, there's a lot of stories. We think about the beautiful music and the people who make that beautiful sounds. We think about people singing, and we enjoy it all. So that brings me to, what do I have to offer? I cannot sing, I'm sorry. And I love music, but if you hand me a saxophone, I will not know where to point it or what to do with it. So I know that I'm not a man of many skills, but I know that I've got a few. One of them, and probably the best proven one, is that I know how to create a culture in any organization. But that doesn't help. SSUC has already got a culture, and you understand it very well. I also have a lot of experience, and that doesn't help either, because nobody wants to buy it from me. So maybe we should get back and talk about the things that we are scared of and things that I don't know nothing about. So let's talk about babies. All of us, or most of us, have at one point in our lives held a newborn baby or a young child. And we all understand that feeling. You look at it and this thing is just beautiful. Most of the time they're pink and they smell lovely and they're soft and cuddly. And it's just beautiful. But then you start thinking and something struck you all of a sudden, that what you're holding is totally, hopelessly useless. It cannot do anything, and you cannot do anything with it. It can't walk or talk, or if it's scared, it can't run away from fear. And the next thought that the human being has is probably the most elevated thought that we can have. And that is, if this thing is really as precious as we think it is, then somebody better take care of it. And that's what it's all about. It's taking care. It's taking care of each other. It's taking care of our community. Because I recognize that taking care of human beings is not only it's something that you do to babies. Everybody in this world needs taking care of. And it means taking care of ourselves. It means taking care of all the people that are close to us, taking care of our community, our city, our world, and the beautiful earth that we live on and feeds us. And that's probably what stewardship is all about. It's just taking care of things. So what I have to offer is, I promise you, I will try and take care of everybody that I get into contact with. And I will do that with all the means and the abilities and skills that I have. And I love you all. Thank you.
Unsure how to step ahead, wondering how to move from where life so far has led, back to paths I've walked and worn, or to break new ground, frightened by what's yet unborn. We ask, whence will the wisdom come? And just what will keep us true to vision's voice? Where will our faith sound and purpose rejoice? Wisdom's words will speak wherever love will seek, any place that our true justice bends, where the threads of human bonds extend. When the ache of life's restraint taxes principles we know existential pain won't betray. We shall be, won't distract us from our heart's true decree. We ask, whence will their wisdom come? And just what will keep us true to vision's voice, where the life is held and purpose rejoice? Wisdom's words will speak wherever love we seek, any place the arc of justice bends, where the threads of human bonds extend. We will find encouragement in our listening ears, forging insight deep within, in the voice of young and old. Science, poetry, nature's wonders to behold. We ask,
On, okay, sorry. And now we change the light, and as we do so, we ask that you take with you the lessons that we learned today, some of the sentiment of facing fear and giving as much as we can where we can. And to that end, we'd like to strengthen our intentions. And I'll ask you to read with me. We join together with hearts full of gratitude and eyes open to see the places of abundance in our lives. We engage our inner hand, our hearts open to receiving and hands open to generosity. May our work and play, our time and energy, our resources and priorities be put to use toward a world of justice and belonging. Through every aspect of our lives, may we lay a foundation of responsiveness, responsibility, and rejoicing. May we work to make it so.